Welcome back to Shogun 2, folks. Today I've got a 1 versus 1 battle between the Ubnob and myself. This is actually about matchmaking, though, specifically a number of issues with Shogun 2's matchmaking system. I'm only going to very briefly touch on my own army. This is a 10k battle, which means I'm not actually fielding my standard forces. The only two things I'd like to point out are the 2 units of Bow Cavalry and my Matchlock Ashgaru in the background, one of which has fire by rank. This is a 10k battle because Ubnob is level 5. He's still unlocking units, which is noticeable in his cavalry forces, and has a few unfortunate side effects for his army composition. This is an issue when a lower level player fights against a higher level player. A lower level has a huge disadvantage. The only way Ubnob could win this battle is if I make major, massive mistakes, and Ubnob exploits them all. That's not very likely to happen, even though I'm certainly going to get lazy because I don't really have to work for this. I've also experienced this from the flip side because of that wonderful veteran duplication bug. I've faced a few armies that are literally completely comprised of clones of the same 1 or 2 level 9 fully upgraded units. Fighting up that kind of slope is just as hard as Ubnob's task here. I have played some more interesting battles against evenly leveled players at the high levels of the ladder that are actually very interesting and educational. Sadly, I can't actually show you any of those because, well, every single one of them ended in a disconnection. If a player disconnects during a losing game, they have only a 50% chance of taking the loss, which means that the ladder is highly populated at the high levels with people who have figured out how to disconnect whenever they are losing. And games that end in disconnection mean that the replay cannot be saved. Now you can see some skirmishing here. You can see my Bow Cavalry drawing out cavalry and then retreating behind my own lines. That would be a lot more risky if Ubnob actually had Yari cavalry, but he doesn't, so my swords are just fine. Now my lines are completely entangled, and Ubnob takes this moment to just charge down the hill in a huge column. The battle very rapidly deteriorates into a complete brawl with no tactical finesse or really tactical skill on either side whatsoever. The issue is that I don't need it because I have veteran units, and Ubnob does not. There are only 2 points of interest. Here is the first. This angle with matchlocks. Note the enemy is exposed on the hillside, while my matchlocks are on the low ground. This angle can also be replicated by having matchlocks on high ground and infantry on flatland below. A lot of kills in a very short span of time. The other thing I'd like to show is this little engagement up here. 2 units of Bow Cavalry versus a Yari Samurai unit and 2 units of Foot Ashgaru archers. As it so happens, Bow Cavalry can murder any foot archery unit in the game, and Ashgaru won't stand any chance whatsoever for any period of time in particular. Of course, Bow Cavalry can do a lot more than that. Because of all the routing units, they actually can charge the Yari Samurai from 2 directions and shatter the unit. I've actually had Bow Cavalry charge headlong into Katana Samurai and come out even. Despite the fact that they're technically archery units, they are cavalry and they have mass during a charge. It doesn't hurt that they're also shooting the whole time.
My lord, a glorious victory will soon be yours!
Those units of Bow Cavalry each end the battle with over 160 kills. I wanted to show this battle for a couple of reasons. One was to demonstrate a few tactical notes about Bow Cavalry and matchlocks. The other was to comment on the rather annoying bugs that plague a vast majority of multiplayer matches. At the high levels of the ladder, you wind up with most of your games being played against either lower level players who are grossly outmatched in fights that are really not fair and probably not that much fun for either party, or you wind up in battles against the higher ranked players on the ladder who have high level generals and usually are going to abuse the existing bugs with matchmaking, such that they have duplicate high level veterans and or they will disconnect ruthlessly after a loss. This is common, it is unfortunate, there are exceptions, but I really wish that Creative Assembly would fix these problems with the game.